Welcome to our official information slash schedule slash extra final stuff before we get our official season going here. I am back here alongside, you guys get to meet for the first time, my main co-partner, Cody Sill. Cody Sill, introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Cody Sill.
Alright, we got a lot to talk about this video, but as we get into it here, first what we're going to do is, the main thing, probably the most important thing, some of you have seen the schedule, some of you have not, so what we're going to do is we're going to get right into that, put that on the screen right now for you guys. It's a 20 race schedule, and it's going to be an interesting one. We made sure that our schedule was consisted of a very good racing racetracks for this series. We don't want any boring races. We made sure we get the good tracks, and then as well as I edited some ionized from the tracks and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the main thing that we looked at when we made our schedule. We consisted of about every single track type except dirt, I guess. So 20 races, 5 chase races. And is there any other notables you can think of on the schedule, Cody?
No, not really here. I'll actually go through our schedule. So we will start off here at Armory Digital here, and for those of you in the NR2003 community, you all know who Armory Digital is. Great people over there. Armory Digital have this great track, and we figured what better way to start off the season than at this track. We will have 2 duels here that'll set the 42 car field. Both of them being 15 laps, both of them being at night. That'll set us up for the start of the season. The first race of the season will be at Armour Digital. It'll be under the lights. It'll be the RRN 130 here, 50 laps around this big track. And another thing that we like to incorporate is that each of the names of the tracks kind of have something a little bit to do with them, and also the mileage length in the numbers. Those are fitting to how many laps are going to be ran, instead of just saying the RN 500 or something like that. So that'll start off our season. We'll move right into race number 2. We'll be going to Chicagoland, and that'll be the Wrigley 101, 67 laps ran there. Then we head off to Richmond for a night race there. There's a PetSmart 110, 110 laps there. Race 4 is the Empire 100, and it is our first road course of the season. It is at Watkins Glen. 25 laps around that road course. Following that, we'll do the Coca-Cola 100 at Coca-Cola Super Speedway, and that is another one of those tracks where NR2003 basically built that track. I mean, anyone that knows about that track has known it from NR2003. That'll be 33 laps. Next race is the Cookout 140. That'll be at Charlotte. That's a night race. That's 94 laps. The Hertz 150 at Michigan. That'll be at 75 laps. We go to ISM next for the FedEx 125, 125 laps around that track. And then the Mobile One 140 will be at Kansas. That'll be 94 laps. And then we head to our second road course of the season. That is going to be at Montreal. That is the Cheetos 60. We'll do 22 laps around there. And then we go to Indianapolis for the Lucas Oil 150. That's 60 laps. Following that is the Tracker Boat 150. That'll be at Daytona, also 60 laps. And we kind of put those 2 tracks together, 2 of the biggest tracks in the world. And we're just going to do them back-to-back both, 150 miles in length, 60 laps. We're excited to see what that is going to have in store. After that, we move to Texas for the Hooters 100, 67 laps there. And then race 14 is going to be the Mack Trucks 125. That'll be at North Wilkesboro under the lights, 25 laps there. And the last race of the regular season will be the Norfolk Southern 125 at Pocono, 50 laps. That'll set up our field of drivers. Then our 5 playoff races. We start off with the big one. It's going to be the Mountain Dew 147 at Talladega, 55 laps there. That'll be a fun race to watch. After that, we go to Rockingham for the Budweiser 105, 103 laps at Rockingham. We go, race 18 is at Papyrus, and that is a road course, and that is one of the original tracks that came with NR2003 way back in 2000, and 2, I when it was released. And that is going to be the Goodies 113, 30 laps there. For the final two races, we have Auto Club. That'll be a night race. That'll be the NTT Data 150, 75 laps, and finishing out the season will be the RRN Finale 150 at Atlanta under the lights. That'll be 100 laps. So as you see here, a lot of unique tracks, a lot of tracks that are special just to NR2003, and I think these race links are perfect for what this series is going to have. I am super excited to see what all this season has in store for us.
A great schedule rundown there. I'm personally really excited about all of it. That's what we want to do when we put together the schedule, but I think that chase schedule is pretty diverse and pretty interesting overall. Papyrus, I think that's a underappreciated gem from the fact that it was original with the NR2003 game. The racing there is absolutely exciting. It's a road course and a super speedway. That's how I see it. We'll be getting more into that when we go there. It's one of the storylines, but a lot to be looking forward to on the schedule. Moving on, corresponding with the schedule, those chase races you mentioned, our points format. That's going to be based off the 2004 NASCAR points format when we get to the chase. So just to explain it very briefly, you have the regular season, which is 15 races for us, and the what would be about the top 12 in points get into the chase, and all of their points reset, and they go down by 2 from each other. So the first would get however many amount, then second's 2 less than him, and so on. And then for the final 5 races, the chase races, they race for a championship with those resetted points, and whoever has the most at the end is your champion. And it'll be interesting to see. I'm going to be using the NR2003 Weebly, the main Weebly site, points format for that, and stuff like that. But moving on, if you don't have anything you want to add on to about the points format, Cody, we can move on to driver names.
No, I don't really think. I think though this point format is going to be perfect for this series. It's uh, it's going to be very diverse, and to see on everyone that's going to be racing. Um, I think the biggest challenge is watching out for those people that are consistent, because when the playoffs hit, consistency is going to matter quite a bit. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing. And yeah, back to you.
Alright, we're going to move on to our driver roster. We have a roster in front of us here. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to kind of run down, and we want to make sure we get pronunciation of any driver names right. So I'm not sure, Cody, if you just want to go over the ones we're not 100% on, but if you will, you can start at any point you'd like to.
Yeah, most of them here are pretty self-explanatory. The first one here that I want to look at is just making sure that we pronounce Mitch Jones. His name is M-I-C-H. That could be pronounced so many ways. I have a few friends here that spell it that way, and they all pronounce it differently. So Mitch is how I'm pronouncing it. I just want to make sure though that's how you would. So if you want us to call you Nick or something like that, you could just tell us. The next one here is I see Nicholas Buttermlick. That is driver number 27. Just want to make sure I say your last name right. That's the biggest thing there. Going down each driver here, make sure I don't skip any. The number 40, Alicini Oiro. That last name is the only thing. Zach is basically helping out here with the first name. I just want to make sure I pronounce the last name correctly. And I think for the rest of the field, though, I think we're pretty good.
Yeah, I'll go ahead
those are the ones.
And run through any questionables I had. Mostly, yeah, and like you mentioned, those were some of them, but just to be sure on anyone that there's some sense of us not being 100% sure of, I'm going to go through just a couple of those that I'm wanted to get sure of. So looking down here, first one, driver number 21, we have it down as Maraka Amaya. That's how we're pronouncing it. If it's incorrect, any of these names, leave in the description the dictionary or the comments, the dictionary type way that you'd see a pronunciation of a name. so we can make sure we pronounce those names right, stuff like that. And Cody already touched on Alcini Boiro. That's how we initially pronounce it. That could be wrong, so make sure to let us know. And looking down the roster here in number order, Happy Monroe, just kind of listing some off here. Joe Gostitis, yeah, Cody touched on some of the others that we're a little unsure of. Tyler Montelvin. So, anything else from that, Cody?
I think we covered all the names that we would need a little help there on.
Alright, and we wouldn't even mind if we didn't even mention your name, but you just want to make sure we pronounce it right. You can leave that in the comments too. So moving on, we will move on to talking about kind of how we plan on releasing our races to the public. So we're going to record our races, I'm going to be editing them and stuff, and right now, what we're going to be planning to do, hopefully, is we want to do this, we think it's cool. As far as releasing our races here on the YouTube channel, we want to try releasing them in that premiere format, what you would call it here on YouTube, where you set a scheduled time and people get in the waiting room and stuff if they'd like, and they see the scheduled time, and that's when the video goes live to the public for the first time. It's not a live stream, but it's a premiere to the public, and they could watch it as it premieres to get live reactions if they want. We've heard some people think that's a cool idea, and we'd definitely like to see live reactions if people are interested in that. And Cody, we know we want to try to get as many races in as we can. We've been talking about, maybe 2 a week. That's a pretty good number. Maybe 3. What do you think about all of that?
I think the most we'd probably do in a week would be 3. For our main events, or start of our season, the duels and the thing, we'll probably just blend it out for the week, and then give a little bit of time, and then we'll start doing races. But yeah, 2 to 3 is a big area. If we don't get to that, we want to do at least 1. I mean, the least we want to do is 1. So that is the biggest thing. We want to get these races out to the public, and we'll make sure that we're not throwing them all on you at the same time, but at the same time not making you wait forever.
Yeah, and obviously we're going to be trying to make sure we get those races released at a certain time. Going off the thing I mentioned, if we go forward with the premiere releasing of the races, we're probably going to want to, we'll record them whenever, but as far as releasing them to the public, that's what matters. We'll probably aim to do it on any evening night, because that's when people are most likely to see it happen and stuff like that. But other than that, that basically covers how we wanted to release races, and just get that across to you guys. If you don't have anything else to add, we can move on to kind of talking about what we look forward to broadcasting and how we do that type of style.
Yeah, the broadcasting here way, the way that I've always liked to do it, and one thing that I like to talk about with RRN, this kind of goes into a little bit of our next point too about RRN, but broadcasting, we kind of like to paint the picture. I know if you're watching this, you see it all in front of you, but we want to try to give you good details and everything. I kind of associate with the broadcast of MRN or PRN. They are the radio broadcasts, because what they do is they paint the picture for everyone, and they make sure that if you're not able to watch it, you basically can just picturing it. So that's the biggest thing that we want to do, is the radio type broadcast. I don't think there's really much else to it. Another thing is, though, we do like to play as realistic as possible. We understand that this is a game, and we're not taking away from that, but at the same time, we want to make this feel like you're watching a real race as much as possible. So, storylines and all that stuff maybe played into throughout the week, that we put into the broadcast. That's just how we want to do it, for the broadcast. And that kind of leads me into the next point, though, about what RN is. RN was started in 2017 by myself, and it started on Roblox in a league that Zack here was owning at the time, and that is kind of where we got our name from, is the Rux Racing Network. And although we've done so much more than just that, this just been the name that we've kept forever. So it's kind of like we're paying homage to that league, considering that it was a big part in all of us, starting all this. So that is really what the name stands for. Our main focus is trying to get these broadcasts and teaching people how to broadcast as realistic as possible on just not on a professional level, but at least on a level to where if you're watching something, you're like, wow, that's good. That I want to listen to that. So that is one thing that RN does quite a bit on. We do a lot of realistic commentating, trying to make sure that everyone is put into the melting pot. We don't like to leave anyone out. So when we're during these races here, we may talk about people that are not even up front, and just talk about maybe there's a storyline that we could throw in there that what RN likes to do with the realism is throw that stuff in. So that's the biggest thing there. Anything you want to add on there, Zach?
Yeah, you definitely touched basically on everything, all the details and everything, but our brand here, RRN the Race Racing Network, we're going to stick with that brand, and that's ultimately, me and Cody, we share this passion of broadcasting, and particularly for the motorsports, and we've done really good with it. We are a great duo. We've done it in so many forms, starting from that Roblox initial start there, and it's always a thing that we enjoy doing. That's why when we put the series together, we're looking forward to the enjoyment of trying to make it feel like a cool broadcast for everyone watching. So you basically touched on everything else, but I just wanted to add that on. It's going to be fun. Looking forward to the broadcast we're going to put together. And moving on to our final points here, just kind of getting very brief on a personal level, just kind of introduce ourselves overall, a little bit about us. You heard me in the first video. I'm Zack Tafelski. That's what I'll be going by for the series, and my partner here is Cody Sill, and we are both, as mentioned, we share this passion for broadcasting, and that's one of the main things that we found immediately when we met each other. For me, on my side of things, I've been a motorsport fan my whole life. Stuff like that, I go to the Indy 500 as a family tradition. Not trying to get too deep in stuff, but just, yeah, racing standpoint, I share a lot of stuff with that from my family and stuff like that, and yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to all of this, and yeah, I want to add, I've been wanting to do my own NR2003 series for a while here, and I'm happy I've finally been able to get this going. I've been looking at it for a while since I've had my own NR2003, but I've never been able to piece all of it together. But yeah, one more thing I'll add on before Cody can talk a little bit about himself is going off the broadcasting standpoint. Right now I'm about to graduate high school soon, and I'm currently exploring the pathway of that broadcasting telecommunications area. I'm in my broadcasting class. I've been in high school. I do reporting and broadcasting, and that's also where I've learned my editing skills that you'll see in these videos. It's not amazing, but I think it's pretty solid, and I'm looking forward to what the future has. I really enjoy broadcasting, but I'll pass it over to you, Cody, if you want to say what you say about yourself.
Yeah, such as Zach here, I've been very passionate here about broadcasting and commentating and all that. As much so as if I'm at work and I have, if I'm doing something, I just pop my headphones and I listen to older races here, whether it be from PRN or MRN, and I try to adapt what I hear from them to how my style of commentating is, and then at the same time, I try to make it my own because I don't want to just sound like what everyone else is hearing. I want to make myself my own character and everything. I have also been a motorsports fan since I was a kid. I've been to many assortment of tracks here. In the last few years, I've been basically following NASCAR on a day-to-day basis, and I've been getting in more of the IndyCar and everything. Before that, I was really just I would call myself a casual fan, but I've really thought in these last few years, I've gotten really, really into the whole sport in general. I have a big passion for it. And I've been fortunate enough to be down on the track during races and been able to talk to drivers and meet them and talk to car owners and all that. And it's really just a awesome experience when you get to do that type of stuff. So I think that is why I care so much about doing this stuff. And also, another thing, you probably, for those of you, a handful of you that have signed up, you'll probably know me from my other league. I have done two leagues. Uh, one with NORLA, and the other one was NOFSRL. I think I may have mispronounced that, but uh, they didn't really pan out as much. I did do a full season with the Heveling Cup Series. The but I haven't really ever been able to piece together a full season since then. So really, this is kind of like my series, but taken into hands of Zach, who I know I could trust in carrying on the series for as long as it needs to be. So uh, I have been doing this stuff for a while, and I have been around in the community. So I think that definitely helps me out and all this stuff that we're doing. But yeah, that sums up all that.
Yeah, I mean, we could make a whole TV show if we wanted to just talk about everything and everything about ourselves, but mainly we just wanted to touch on very briefly our connections mainly to the motorsport and broadcast world because that's what relates to what we're doing exactly right here the most, but there's a lot more that can come with that, and if we want to talk more, but we're not going to do that. We already got a long video of just us talking, but we'll get into later is you could just talk to us anytime. We love talking about motorsports. We definitely would consider ourselves big motorsports fan, very knowledgeable motorsports fans. But anyway, we'll move on. Our final points here. We already touched on this. For the season opener, we're going to have duels for this race right here at Armory Digital. And it's going to be formatted basically exactly like you'll see the Daytona 500 duels. We will have a qualifying, which will not be recorded, and we'll get the results from that, and duels will set up from that. No one misses the field. It just sets the lineup, and from the duels, outside lane, inside lane, that stuff. If you know the Daytona 500 format, it's basically just like that, and that's all. Just going to touch on that. We already talked about that briefly earlier. So now we can get towards wrapping up the video here. One thing we finally want to add is join the Discord if you'd like in the description. We've already seen a ton of you file in there. The RRN Discord, it's always linked in the description. That's where you can get all of your outlets to us directly. If you want to contact us, that's the place to go. You join that Discord and you'll find me and Cody were the two highest ranks of it, that server, and we plan on changing up that server a lot for the sake of this series and a lot more. This is only the beginning, so we've got a lot of talking points we've gone over. For any of you that have listened to all of it, it's for you. But mainly, this video is for general information. I wanted to get the schedule out and explain some stuff. But other than that, Cody, you can say whatever you want to say.
I think that basically wraps up here all our points. Yeah, uh, me and Zach are always open to comments and everything. So if you join the Discord, and just hit us up with a message here. We'll be happy to talk about it. And I'll even go as far as saying if you possibly even want to be a commentator or a pit road reporter or something to do with the broadcasting in this for this season in this league, uh, hit us up here. We're always looking for people. Always looking to see if we could help people out and get them out there. But other than that, I think that wraps up basically everything that we need to talk about.
Alright, we will sign off here because the next time that we will see you on our videos, we will be coming to you from the Armory Digital Super Speedway once again, but not for practice. For our first races, we'll see duel number 1, hopefully this week. That's definitely going to be the plan. That's definitely what we're going to shoot for. But for now, on behalf of Cody Sill, we will sign off, and we will hope to see you next video. Thank you for watching.